Okay, welcome everyone to Live with Campers, a walk down memory lane. My name is Becky Barnett. I work for the American Diabetes Association, and I will be your host for this next 30 minutes. And today I have some camp friends with me, and we are just going to talk about camp and why camp is so great. I'm happy and ecstatic to announce we're back in person after 2 years. Took a little hiatus, but we will be back and better than ever. So, with that, I'd like to introduce everyone that's on live with us today, and thank you to them all for joining us. We've got Maggie, Jenna, Marco, and Elizabeth. But I'm going to go around to each one of them and have them introduce themselves, give you a little bit more information about them. And, so if you guys just want to, we'll start with Marco, but if you just want to say, state your name again, where you're from, and when you're not at diabetes camp, where can we find you?
Um, when I'm not at camp, you can find me at Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. It's like 2.5 hours from Pittsburgh. So, yeah, or an hour below Columbus.
And Marco, what camp are you representing?
Camp Souls.
Camp Souls.
Yep.
And where's Camp Souls held at?
Camp Souls is up in, I think it's Rockwood, PA. And it's like the Pittsburgh branch of ADA camps.
Yep. And then that one, when it's diabetes camp, is Camp Courage, correct?
Yep, Camp Courage.
Awesome. All right, Jenna and Maggie, I will go to you guys next. We have two for the price of one. We got a dynamic duo here. I'll let them explain their situation. You guys just want to introduce yourselves, where you're from, what camp you're representing, and when you're not at diabetes camp, where can we find you?
We're from Pennsylvania, and we're representing Camp Freedom. That's in Schwenksville. And when we're not at camp, I'm currently a sophomore in high school, and then I play club volleyball. I work a job, do a lot of other things.
And I'm Maggie's mom. I also representing Camp Freedom. We've done that in the past, but Maggie is exploring Camp Aspire this summer in Rush, New York. So she'll be trying that out. And I am a pharmacist by trade.
Okay. And so, I apologize if those that are watching this, you're getting a little bit of an echo. We're experiencing it ourselves. Not that I don't love to hear myself talk, but just hearing it twice. And last but certainly not least, Elizabeth. Where are you from? What camp are you representing? And when you're not at camp, where can we find you?
I am from Fargo, North Dakota. I am representing Camp Maverick, formerly known as Camp Sioux. Can I say that I'm representing Camp Needlepoint too?
You can. You are.
Okay. I like to dabble state to state into the different camps.
Yeah.
When I'm not at camp, I'm a dietitian. I work for Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota on the wellness team.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, and I hear that the echo went away. Thank you.
Yay.
Echo, stereo gods, whoever helped us with that. So also, when you are at camp, what role, if you want to say, if you've been med staff, if you're a camper, if you're a counselor, what you've done before at camp or what you're heading into this year. And then also, if you just want to share a little bit about yourself, if you live with diabetes or not. What's your style? Are you a pumper? Do you, take injections? Do you rock the CGM? We'll go backwards this time. Elizabeth, tell us. We want to know more.
Well, you'll probably be surprised to hear that I'm the dietitian at camp, which is a fun little gig. I wear a pump and I do a CGM.
Awesome. And Elizabeth, how old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was 15 when I was diagnosed.
Okay. So what is your past camp experience before you became, a dietitian with the mostest?
Well, when I was diagnosed where I was, I don't know if it's everywhere, I was too old to be a camper. And so my doctor convinced me to go and be a counselor. So I went and I worked as CIT, and then I was a counselor. And then I found you and came back to be the dietitian. So it's full circle. Minus, I guess I wasn't a camper.
It was. It was like an Oprah moment when we connected.
Yeah, it really
Maggie,
was.
it really was. We should have had our own show. Maggie and Jenna, what I know, Maggie, you had talked about being a camper and Jenna being a pharmacist. I'm guessing you play a medical role. If you want to let us know your experience at camp, and then Maggie, just a little bit more about you and diabetes.
Okay. Well, I played 2 roles at camp. The first year that Maggie went to camp, I was just the parent who dropped off at camp. And it was really exciting to do that because I knew she was in safe hands. And then the second year that Maggie went back, I went back to camp with her. And I had volunteered to offer my services as a pharmacist. And I got to spend the whole week at Camp Freedom as a staff volunteer and on the medical side, but I spent a lot of time with the kids. I was assigned a cabin, and I followed those kids all around, and we became very close, and we had a lot of fun. But so I got to see camp 2 ways, and I didn't even get to see Maggie all that much at camp because she was just so darn busy the whole week, and it just flew by for me. So it was exciting to be in both roles, as a parent on the other side, and then actually to be there volunteering for the week. So it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. And Maggie, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going back for my 3rd year at Camp Freedom this year. The past 2 years, the first year I went alone, which was a little nerve-wracking at first. At first, they couldn't get me to go because I was a little nervous. But then, now that I've gone for 2 years, I'm definitely jealous that it's like my last year as a camper and that I didn't get a couple more years in. But it's definitely really exciting to go there and like be in safe hands and have people that are alike around you. It's definitely a lot of fun.
And Marco, what about you? What's your camp story? What's your history at camp?
I consider myself a pretty professional camper.
Professional camper?
Oh, yeah. Pretty experienced, you know.
Yeah, okay.
It takes years to build up that reputation, but I think I'm there.
Okay.
I've been going to camp since I was 8 years old, and I went all the way through my sophomore year in high school until COVID, and we haven't been able to go these past couple years, but I was planning on being a CIT, so this year, glad I get that opportunity. But yeah, I'm waiting for somebody to come dethrone my king camp reputation.
Nice,
So.
nice. The troublemaker of camp, perhaps.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta be. There's gotta be one.
Wow. So I was gonna say, the American Diabetes Association is the largest provider of camps for kids with diabetes in the world. And we know firsthand what it's like to live with diabetes and have frustrations and learning things for the first time. And speaking of first, I think I'll start with Maggie this time. Maggie, is there something you did for the first time at camp that you had never done before, or something you tried, or something that you learned from camp?
I think the most important thing that I got out like diabetes was like exploring, like seeing how everyone else manages type 1, like from a day-to-day standpoint, and like kind of seeing like what people wear. Like after the first year, I think I got back into wearing a Dexcom, which was definitely beneficial. Finding new places to put like a pump site or a Dexcom site. And it's really cool because at the end of camp, when we do like a talent show type thing, we get like the nurses come up and they give out awards for everyone who got to try something new at camp, like from all ages. So it's definitely like encouraged to go out of your comfort zone and try something new.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know my first time at camp was a long time ago, and I was still on shots using the syringe and vial. I was 11 years old. I never tried my shot by myself before. Like I always kicked and screamed when my parents were trying to get me to do it. And I remember that first night in my cabin, I was with a bunch of like 10, 11-year-olds. This is where peer pressure comes in a really good way. And I remember the counselor said, just maybe a little bit too loud, "Oh, Becky, I know you need help with your shots." And of course, as an 11-year-old, I was devastated because all my friends in the cabin I mean, my soon to be new friends were looking at me. I'm like, oh no, I do my shot all the time. Boom, just did it. Had never even attempted it. And so by the end of the week, the counselors kept saying when my parents came to pick me up, Becky, is there anything you want to tell your parents? And I'm like, no, like, oh, I do this all the time. Like, not a big deal, right? Marco, you're laughing, but do you have a similar situation? Do you have a first from camp?
I didn't put my pump site in my arm. Like, I was like freaking out, and I stuck it onto my arm, and I was scared to like. There's like 2 like pin tabs to pull it, like for it to go down in, and I had this thing like on my arm for like 10 minutes, and I wouldn't push it.
So what happened? Did you just go the rest of the week like that, or did you eventually accomplish it?
I remember my counselor, I made him come over, and he was like, I'm not pushing it. I'm not pushing it. And eventually I just like closed my eyes and I did it. It wasn't as bad as I thought, but I don't know why. I was just freaking out at the time.
Thanks so much, Marco. And Elizabeth, I mean, is it maybe your first? Was it where you discovered that you loved food and you want to be a dietitian? Or was there something else that you learned?
Well, diabetes did give me that discovery of loving food and nutrition and all things dietitian. I don't remember having any first just because I was older, but it was the first time that I was like around other people that were dealing with the same thing that I was. And so, like Maggie said, you get to see how other people are managing it and maybe learn little tricks or other things to try to help you. Like, I just kind of learned that it's not, diabetes isn't black and white. It's like a total gray area. So I thought that was fun. My favorite thing now, though, is like Marco's story and your story, Becky, the kids that are gaining independence by doing these things for the first time that they've never tried at home. And whether it's for a little positive peer pressure or whatever the reason is, it is so great to watch them do those things. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you for all of you sharing your stories. And it's obviously a huge amount of bravery and courage goes into it. So I think in all of our camps, no matter what camp you're from, and actually, I think I forgot to say what camps I represent. I'm in Minnesota. If I didn't say that before, you probably knew by my accent very quickly. But I have my home camp. The camp I grew up going to is Camp Needle Point. We don't sew at camp. Get it? Needle Point. I'm sure you all do. And then also working at Camp Maverick with Elizabeth. Haven't been out to Pennsylvania or upstate New York to see those great camps, but we do have camps all over the United States. And if you want to see where some of our other camps are, if you're not in these specific areas, diabetes.org/camps, and you can get more information. But now, you guys, I want to get serious. Let's get down to the real business. Elizabeth, what about the food at camp? We know it's been on everyone's mind. We know people are just like, oh my gosh, what am I having for breakfast? What happens as a dietitian? Can you let us know, like, what are your goals? What really happens at camp? What kind of food do we serve at camp? I mean, am I going to like it? Can you answer that for us?
Peas and meatloaf for every meal, and then creamed peas on toast is our breakfast every day. So the menu is really simple from where I'm coming from. Just kidding. The food is the best at
It
camp.
would make carb counting easy, though.
That's why we do it. I'm looking for something easy, an easy job for myself. There's a very wide variety of food at both Camp Maverick and Camp Needle Point. My role is to get the carb counts going, make sure that we, everything just kind of adds up. And I'm always there to help kids to, again, try to gain independence with figuring out how to count their carbs, all of those fun things. But the camp, I don't even know that I can pick a favorite camp meal. And because I really like the walking tacos, but I feel like that's maybe because it falls on silent dinner day. And chicken chunks and mac and cheese is a fave too.
Can you just explain to all of our listeners what silent dinner is at camp? What happens?
Silent dinner is exactly what it sounds like. Everybody comes in and we're in the mess hall and you are not allowed to speak. It is hilarious because, of course, no one can contain themselves. If you are caught making noise, you lose things like, do we start with silverware? Yeah, you start losing utensils, hands, you have to stand up. Very, very entertaining little dinner that we do at Camp Maverick.
It is Maggie and Jenna. What's your favorite camp meal? And is there any tradition or something you do at your camp that you've done? Like they have silent dinner at Camp Maverick. So favorite meal and something you may do at your camp that you would think would be unique. And then Marco will come to you next.
Favorite food's gotta be French toast sticks. That was like one of the meals that I think like everyone in the dining hall went back for seconds. Yeah, I don't know. I think something that's really cool is like just the environment in the mess hall. Like it's fun to see like everyone kind of coming together, like everyone's checking, and you can't. Our rule is like you can't go up and get like food for your cabin until everyone's checked and everyone's dosed and everything. Um, there's a lot of options what to eat. I think the salad bar was popular. That was fun, but definitely trying a lot of new things and being comfortable doing that too.
We had an interesting cook at Camp Freedom. He would come out and walk around and make sure everybody was liking what they were eating. They accommodated everyone's food issues or concerns that they had, so parents didn't have to worry. No one starved to death at camp. There's plenty of food. The one thing, my group that I was attached to were 14-year-old ravenous boys. They were always hungry, but there was always enough food for everybody. They had to wait till all the tables were served, but once they got the okay, every meal, every day, they got up for seconds. So, but it was fun. They were really good. But the food was good, even for the volunteers and stuff. There was a variety of food, and everyone really enjoyed it. I think, yeah, it was really good.
So Marco, we know on your mind would be Camp Maverick and the meatloaf and the cream peas on toast every morning, that
That's all
which
I've
you
been
would
thinking
probably
about.
would want to experience. What about you and Camp Courage? Like favorite meal, and what's a tradition or something that you guys do every year or have in
Um,
the past?
I was just talking about talking to one of my friends from camp like a couple weeks ago about our favorite food, and we missed the potato bar. So it comes like there's like these little mini potatoes like this big, and there's like a bunch of toppings for it. And I remember my cabin like going for it every meal, every dinner that they had it. Um, there wasn't there were a lot of dance parties for my camp after every meal. Like every time I don't know, Taylor Swift was a big thing. I think one of the counselors started playing Taylor Swift every meal, and eventually we just gave in and started dancing with him. So happens every time.
Awesome. Well, I'm guessing this summer Encanto will be all over. So I hope Maggie, Jenna, Marco, and Elizabeth, you've got some rendition of a song in it, of Encanto in there. So have that prepared. And I was going to say one of the other things is we have all these great memories, all these experiences at camp. Once again, if you want to find out more about camp, diabetes.org camps. And you can find out on our page there. You can find out about the different camps, like I said before. Also, what the prices are to go to camp. We want to make sure to let you know that we want to make sure every kid can go to camp that's possible. And so we do offer financial assistance. If your family is in need of that, you can apply for that. Our biggest thing is to get the kids to camp. So we just want to make sure that there's nothing that inhibits them from that. I think going on to the next thing is that we talked about food a little bit. We've talked about some of the activities, some of the first that we've done at camp. There's some crazy stuff that goes on. Elizabeth talked about the silent dinner. Marco talked about, being run over by a train of guys going to the potato bar, pretty much. One of the camps that I do also, we've done up at Camp Maverick, as well as we have thumb appreciation. So we tape people's hands together, so you have to use your hands like scoops. Usually we try to find a messy meal to do that. We do let you take the tape off your hands eventually. Or there's cooperation meal where you tie everyone's wrists together, which works really well, except if you're a right-handed person tied to a left-handed person, then you're both trying to lift like your spoon or utensil. Lots of crazy things, lots of dance parties. What keeps bringing you back to camp, Marco? Why do you come back year after year, minus the years that we have pandemics, of course?
It's just the overall energy. really. Like, I feel like a lot of people just let go of like a lot of things, like inner fun that they're holding back when they get to camp, and I love it. Like, I just love how people just can let go and be themselves a lot more. So that's my biggest thing. So.
Oh, how about Elizabeth? What brings you back to camp?
You're very fun to work with, so that's that's a huge plus. But like Marco said, it is like everybody feels comfortable and safe, and they are themselves. And these kids have so much fun. Even if they started the week maybe thinking, if it's their first time, I don't want to go, I don't want to be here. There is so many tears and hugs at the end. Nobody wants to go home, and I just think it's so fun for everybody to be able to see like everyone else is struggling with these things too. Like their diabetes isn't just a walk in the park. So it's just such a great opportunity. I just love helping people, and I know that everyone is so passionate about carb counting, so I'm always here to try to spread that knowledge too.
And we do, Elizabeth, thank you for your service when we've had carb emergencies at camp. When we were like, is it a third cup of pasta or a half cup? How many grams is that? Always gets me every time. Exactly. Thank goodness for people like Elizabeth and also people like Jenna who have been on our medical staff. Jenna, we had a question pop up. So as a parent, you would know this too. I think nighttime is the scariest time for everyone. What do medical staff do, at least from your experience, because mom and dad are usually used to checking blood sugars at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., sometimes all through the night. How is that handled at camp, if you wouldn't mind sharing?
Sure. Let me first just say it as a parent. I remember dropping Maggie off the first time. And, first time away from home, first time away with diabetes. But I can reassure you that your child will be safe from the minute that you drop them off to the minute that you pick them up. It's the safest place they can be. The volunteer med staff, nursing staff, everybody, dietitians, even the CITs, we work around the clock to make sure that your kids are just able to be there and be a kid, not worry about diabetes. That's our job for the week. Is we take care of all that. 24/7, we're awake. There's someone there that can handle any situation, whether it be someone who's just homesick in a cabin or someone who's having a low because they were so busy and active during the day, that's not a concern. It's nothing for a parent to worry about. We've got it covered. You don't need to follow your child while they're at camp. That's our job. We are there to make sure that your camper is safe all day. And there's a lot that goes on. We are around at night. The campers have the CITs who are right in the same cabin as they are. We're walkie-talkied. We can be there in a heartbeat to make sure if there is an emergency situation that arises. There's always someone there that can help. So when the kid goes to camp and you drop off your camper, that camper is there just to be a kid, to forget diabetes exists and leave that in our hands. That's what we do. That's our job while your camper is there. So if that makes anyone feel better, it made me feel better knowing it's the safest place I'd want my kid to be. And we do a good job. Everybody, Maggie came home safe, so everything was good. It's really great. You don't have to worry.
Thank you so much for answering that. And then I was going to say, I just have some quick questions for everyone, just maybe a 1-word, 2-word answer. Marco, we'll start with you. Your favorite go-to low snack?
Glucose tabs.
And then clearly the follow-up question would be what flavor?
Probably the grape ones or the sour apple ones, the green apple ones.
Never can find those. Great. Okay. Question for you, Maggie. Best camp activity?
Oh, I know it is. We at our camp, we're very lucky that we have a zip line. You had a fun experience on the zip line because one of the boys in your cabin had never gone before and was really nervous, and you go like 2 people at a time, like next to each other, and you got a chance to go on the zip line.
All week he would not get on the zip line, and I said, if you go, I'll go, because I've never done it either. And we zipped across the lake together. We made it to the other side. So that was first time experience for me because I hadn't done it either. So it was awesome.
Awesome. And congrats. Elizabeth, favorite camp song?
Oh my gosh. Put some glucose on it, for sure. Written by you, correct?
Wasn't necessarily written by me, but how did that song go? Do you know the first few lines?
Put some glucose on it. Put some glucose on it. Oh my
Get
gosh, I
low.
don't. Oh yeah, get low, get low. I don't
Get some
remember.
glucose on. Okay, well, just because Elizabeth is having a senior moment, so a
Yeah.
song we have that's very popular in the Midwest is called "Put Some Glucose on It." Put some glucose on it. Put some glucose on it. Get low. Put some glucose on it. Get a meter with it. Put some blood
Put some
on
blood on
it.
it.
Get low. Put some glucose on it. Put some glucose on it. Put some glucose on it.
On it.
Elizabeth, I for sure
Love it.
thought you would have said "Head in the Bucket."
Okay, but that's not a song. Head in
I
the
know.
Bucket is my second favorite, only because I think I'm the one chanting Head in the Bucket.
And what
Before
happens
it needs to
during
be
"Head in the
chanted.
Bucket"?
The kids put their head in a bucket of cold, cold water. Head in the bucket. Head in the bucket. It's my favorite.
Okay. I was gonna go back to Maggie. As a camper, what's the best thing a parent can do for their kid if they're going to camp? Is it send mail, packages? Just don't worry about them. What's the best thing a parent can do?
Yeah, I think the best thing about camp is that while we're off, you kind of get like a mental break away from having to get up at 2 in the morning to check a blood sugar or make sure everyone's okay. But definitely the first year I went, getting like when we're packing up, like I got to like open like a suitcase and like go and like find my bathing suit, and there was a little like card from like my sister or my dad or my mom, or that was definitely a lot of fun. Definitely getting like mail was a lot of fun, but you build a community while you're there. I mean, like it goes by so fast, and I think like the one thing that you can take away from camp is like there's connections. Like there's girls that I've gone like my first year with that like I still text with like every day, and like everyone's checking in. So definitely outside support, like some mail, just some like it's gonna be okay. Like even if it's your first year, like your however many years you're going, just knowing that like it's your turn to like take a like break from always having to focus and advocate for yourself for your diabetes, and just get to be like a kid with everyone else.
Awesome. My last question, Marco. What's the one thing you have to always bring to camp? What is the one thing you make sure is in your duffel bag, in your suitcase, in your Tupperware container, whatever you bring your clothes in? What is the one thing that it's a visual.
These shorts are very special. These are my aerobic shorts. We do aerobics every year at camp. So, you got to go like the most.
Do you lead the aerobics?
Huh?
Do you lead the aerobics?
I mean, it usually ends up me in the front somewhere, but like
okay.
I don't start leading it. I don't ask. I just end up there,
Are you wearing the shorts right?
Oh, here we go. Yep.
Funny,
$7 at Walmart, just in case anybody was wondering these,
I might need to get a pair of those.
Oh yeah. I'd
like to lead
love to see
water
everybody
aerobics.
wearing them.
Yeah.
Water aerobics?
Yeah. Also,
Well,
not only
that's these ones. That's these shorts right here. That's
perfect. I lead it from the deck, and usually no one is too interested to take part.
Yeah. So maybe we need to send you over to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I guess.
Other question for you, Marco. By any chance, are you already packed for camp?
don't worry about it.
Okay, I won't. Maybe you haven't unpacked from camp in 2019. No judgment here.
I didn't want to touch the bag. It's nostalgia. I go back for memories.
Last question for you all before we wrap up. Marco, I'll start with you. When was the last time you talked to someone from camp?
Probably 3 days ago.
3 days ago. Maggie, how about you?
Probably like, yeah, I was gonna say probably within the week because we're all texting about like camp dates and like who's going and that kind of thing.
And Elizabeth?
Well, in this current moment, I'm talking to you, my best friend from camp, but I also talked to you last night.
She did. I had a carb emergency. I didn't know how much
Yes.
the pineapple was worth on my pizza. So,
Mhm.
I mean,
I
it's
helped.
always good to have a dietitian in your back pocket. And it's been great chatting with you guys all. I know we could go on probably for a couple more hours. You know, we will all be at camp in some shape or form this summer. And we hope that you that are watching us will join us too. Once again, diabetes.org/camps. Find some more information. If you have any questions, you can email us at campsupport@diabetes.org. And no question is too small or too big. If you want to know, can I bring my teddy bear? Should I bring, water shoes? Whatever, what supplies do I bring? We will cover that all. We are just so excited to be back. And, here at the American Diabetes Association, we are firm believers that camp is one of those things that is a life-changing experience. That's why we want as many kids as possible to go. We think it's great. Everyone on this call thinks it's great. And personally, a statement that I actually put on our camp t-shirts one year had said, because a week can change your entire life, which I really wholeheartedly believe. I know it changed my life. I know it's changed Elizabeth's life, Marco's, Maggie's, and Jenna's. And we just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in for us. Any last minute shout outs? Maggie, any last shout outs you want to give to any of your camp friends?
I don't know. See everyone this summer. How about that? In person. Yeah, it's important. In person.
Marco, anyone, fellow aerobic instructors, anyone that you need to give a shout out to?
Shout out to Ty Tracy. He's my camp counselor from camp. I don't know, was my favorite. So
awesome.
No disrespect to any of my other counselors out there watching. But
and of course you loved everyone.
Yep.
Yeah. Elizabeth.
Gosh, I would say Tanya, Mick, and Anna, and the horses of Needlepoint.
That is because Elizabeth is not only is she a dietitian, she's an equestrian as well.
Yes, here for the horses.
Thanks for horses. And I would like to just give a special shout out to all my friends at 88 camps throughout the United States. We've got more info at the bottom, diabetes.org/camps. We would love to talk to you. We'd love to see you at camp if you have any questions. This might be a normal thing for me, Maggie, Jenna, Margot, and Elizabeth. We may start a podcast, guys. We'll have to come up with a cool name for it. I'm not sure what it'll be. If you have suggestions, you can always send it at campsupport@diabetes.org. Or if you have, a pharmacological or dietitian emergency, I'm sure Jenna and Elizabeth would be more than happy to give information. Maggie has got us on the social front, and Marco probably will be making YouTube videos of aerobics now. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted on that. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to Elizabeth, to Marco, to Maggie, and Jenna. Thank you to all our volunteers that make camp happen. And we are so excited to see everyone this summer. So with that, we're going to sign off. Happy trails, and we'll see you at camp.